Good morning. Hello, how is everybody? Welcome. So Felicia's here already, although she might be asleep again. Ellen says, hello, lovely Sean and Peeps. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Jojo says, morning. Guess who managed to get all of her raving squirrels in a row? Nice. Nice. Claire says, good morning from a rather damp Cheshire. Happy New Year. I'm working on the Jara sweater today for the first time. Nice. And Amy's here as well. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So I'm not going to forget this time. I am going to be a good YouTuber. I have remembered my list of my new Patreon peeps that I need to say hello to. So the very first one is Faye Runyon. Welcome, Faye, and thank you. Zoe Dixon has joined the Patreon peeps. Sanya Polzer. Thank you, Sanya. Paula Olson. Rona Anderson. Hannah Woods. Petter Pendlebury. Jessie Ernberg, hopefully I said that somewhat correctly. Linda Kabarubias, that's an awesome name. And MJB has also joined the Patreon peeps. So thank you very much to every single one of you for supporting my channel in that way. I hope you have been enjoying the behind the scenes waffles and the many dating disaster stories. I have yet another one to add when I film for next week's waffle, and there will be 2 waffles next week. This week I was easing back into it, at least I thought I was easing back into it, and yeah, not so much. I was just kind of having one of those like, I can't get anything done, so I have cut out piping that still needs to be sewn together, and I have altered a pattern. Yeah, fun times. I have also managed to order the zips for my Ziggy jacket, although I did get a message from somebody saying that the zip requirement was actually too long for the pattern and that I ought to measure the pattern pieces first and then order my zips, but too late. I've done it now. So all of the arm zippers and pocket zippers will be this length because I am not going to shorten these and I'm not going to send them back. Because I really don't want to try and shorten a metal zipper because I have never seen it done well once. I mean, I'm sure people out there can do it well, but I've not seen them look good. And I have no experience with that. And these are expensive, so I don't want to fluff that up. And then I also ordered the open-ended zippers. And I've ordered 2 lengths. I've ordered the length that the pattern requires. And then I've ordered one that's technically an inch longer because I usually have to add an inch of length to the... Words are hard. I usually have to add an inch of length to the bodices of everything anyway. So I thought, you know, I might as well get both. I came down and I got all my metal zippers out and tried them out on this. And whilst I would have liked a dark grey background, the company that I know of that does zips that I like the quality of didn't have a dark grey background with an open-ended zip. But I actually quite like the black. I think it blends in better than I thought it was going to. So I'm very happy with the zips. Mum has started the muslin process for her coat, and it turns out that actually we need the same size, which is awesome. So Mum's traced the pattern of the 9040. She has cut out the calico and has made up a muslin. So far we've got this. And fantastically, like I say, it kind of almost fits me as well as it fits her. Now I'm going to have to do a full bicep adjustment. I have chunky arms for some reason. Can't get in. There we go. Oh, she's put the collar on as well. Yes, it does go that way. So yeah, this one actually fits me pretty well. I am going to take about an inch out of the back on this because I've got a big jumper on over it and it's still really, really too big for me. I'm going to leave the front as is, but it fits Mum really well as well. And I actually am not sure that I need to add any length to it. So I'm going to measure the pattern just to make sure that it comes down to the length that I want. But yeah. coat making progress is going ahead and I'm not doing anything other than advising, which is quite nice. So I'm going to hang this up though because it's getting very creased, which is not what we want. That's what we want. So hang that little badger up. There we go. My charm patterns calendar arrived from Gertie, so I'm going to try and find a little thing to stick that up with actually. But let's catch up with the chat. Caroline says good morning from a very soggy Guildford. Good morning. Jane says greetings from Bristol. Hello. Maverick says morning everyone from a sunny Kent. Good morning. Conchita says good morning everyone. Hope you're all well. Very well, thank you. How are you? Elena says missed you all so much over the holidays. Oh, yes, it was very nice to have some time off, but it was also kind of like, I want to get back to it. Lynn's here. Good morning, everybody. Eunice says, happiest of New Year's from Eunice, Inverloch, Victoria, Australia. Good evening. Diana says, hello, Sian and all the lovely peeps. How are you doing? I am just okay. I'm happy to be in my sewing room today working on the Butterick 5625, a baby summer dress for my granddaughter. Oh, lovely. Marissa says, good evening, Sian and peeps from Brisbane. Good evening. Handmade by Hannah says, good rainy, very rainy morning from Nevada. Super happy to actually have made one of these. Wow, it's early for you. Good morning. Mim says, happy New Year to everyone. Hi, Sian. How are you? Very well, thank you. How are you? Petter says, hello from a very wet North Wales, and my name is pronounced just like the boy's name, Peter. Oh, sorry, Peter. Just a feminine spelling. Looking forward to actually being here from the start of a life. Thank you for letting me know, and yes, thank you for joining the Patreon peeps as well. Elena says this coat will look amazing. I think so. It's going to be really nice. Somebody did say to me, they were like, well, surely you don't like your black coats, the jacket, the trench coat and the jacket that you made last year. Why are you making it in black again? Because Mum doesn't want the black fabric. We have these two choices, and yeah, Mum doesn't want to work with the black fabric because of her eyesight, which I completely understand. So I'm going to be making a black coat, and I mean, I wear my black Minoro all the time. I put my black Minoro coat on all the time. I don't know what it is about the trench coat. I think it is with the trench coat that I like it, but I think what it is with this one is that in my head, I've had some Burberry trench coats that I've been wanting to make in stone colours and lighter colours. And whilst this is lovely and feels amazing because it's a brushed cotton twill, so it feels really, really soft, it's just not, I don't know, it's just not right. I think the length of it as well. I think if this was maybe a little bit longer, I might like it more. But yeah. That is why I am making my 9040 in the black fabric, because I mean technically I did buy the tan camely biscuity colour one for Mum, and then we swapped back, and then this time around Mum was like, well, I'll have whichever you want, but working with black is not the easiest. So, and I want to make my coat. I don't want to make a coat for Mum and Mum make a coat for me. I want to make my coat. So yeah, that's why I'm making the black one. It'll be fine. I'm sure I'll use it. And with the tailoring techniques that are going to go into this, I think it's going to end up being a coat that I keep for years. So yeah. Yes. Where did I get to? Chris says, hi from Australia, Phillip Island, Victoria. Hello, good evening. Lynn says, I think the toile is looking good. I suggest putting both sleeves on the toile so you can both check it's not pulling across the shoulders. Sorry if you're planning to do that. We are planning to do that. Mum has made up the sleeves, even with the facing on them. So we've got the sleeves here. She's even cut out the other collar and the facing so that we can put that on as well. So we're gonna, yeah, I agree, Lynn. Putting a sleeve on both sides really helps to work out if you need any more room up in this area. So yeah, 100% agree with that tip. Hannah says, speaking of Gertie, what do you think of the society dress? It's on my... I was told that I would like January's release, and I'm going to be adding it to my Make 9. There was a spot left for it. The Make 9 video is coming out next weekend. I've still got my top 5 hits and misses to bring to you. I was thinking I might see if I can get it done for this evening, because it's nearly finished being edited. Right. Oh, bum. Don't have... right, okay, I think we have to swap some things over. Because, ow, just hit myself in the knuckles with this. I think I need the metal rather than the plastic hook for the calendar because the hole in it. So let's hang this up. Okay, wow, I really did hit myself in the knuckle with that. Fun times. But yeah, the words are hard. The Make 9 plans, the Gertie plans, is coming out on Friday next week. And I will be getting the Holston skirt video out for you that weekend as well, because I do need to film a little bit about that. Because, oh, words are hard. What was I saying? I need to, sorry, I'm trying to read the comments and talk at the same time and clearly failing at both. I need to refilm a little bit for the Holston skirt because I did have, oh, is this too big? Oh no, it's okay, it's okay. Right, you're going up here. There we go. There we go, that can stick. Right. Oh, and I can put there, because Nimway's little monstera leaves, they can go on there for now, so they don't get lost. Yeah, so words are hard. Holston skirt. I need to refilm the pattern drafting part, or pattern manipulation part, because I got myself very lost when I did it. And it's been so long since I did it, I've probably forgotten how I did it again. So yeah, I need to refilm that bit. But otherwise, that video is pretty much done. So that will be coming out soon. But yeah, I really like the society dress. I think it's very me. The lady at Gertie's Patreon said it was very me. She was correct. And I am eating hula hoops. Michelle's here. Good morning from Drizzly, Bermuda. Happy New Year. Good morning, Michelle. Happy New Year. Michelle, it was you that wanted the jersey scraps with the blue and polka dot kitty French Terrier in it, wasn't it? I think I remember you saying that. Kerry Lee says, good morning from South Africa. Good morning. Debbie says, good morning, Sean. How many versions of the Gertie Society dress will you be making this year? It's like she watches your vlogs. At least one, because it's on my Make 9. I can imagine that I am going to very much like it, though. Not sure about the hood. I like it. I like the idea of it, but I'm not sure I'm going to add it. Maybe to one. Maybe we'll try. We'll see. We shall see. Elena says, can you embroider some colour to it if the totally black coat will feel boring? Ah, that's a really good point, because do you remember that green coat that I made? I wonder if I can get these out. Come on, mannequins. yeah, the green Gertie coat that I made quite a while ago that I sewed on the black trim to. Well, I have loads of those and loads of the beads that I used. So I am not opposed to, because I like the idea of black on black. So I'm not opposed to sewing a bunch of these on and making it a really fancy coat. Because why not? I have a lot of really fancy coats already, but I have a lot of utility coats as well. So, you know, maybe that's what happens to that one. But we shall see. Right, I've got to try and get these back in now. Okay, that worked. Yay! Whoop! The mannequin is trying to attack me. Let's see. Hannah says, yeah, embroidery would really liven up black. If I do, it will be black on black, and I think it probably would be those, to be honest. I think that could look quite nice around the collar, although it is an asymmetric collar, which we all know that I'm not a huge fan of. So possibly is the answer, possibly. Christine says, hi from a very rainy Bolton, South Lancashire. Hello, good morning. Is it still morning? Just good morning. Hannah says, also just Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. Tia says, morning, Shine Peeps from the very wet and windy south coast in Poole. Good morning. Yeah, it's a bit grim here today too. Lynn says, excellent. Your mum's great. I wouldn't have bothered. I wouldn't have bothered with both cuffs, and I'm in love with the society dress. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't going to bother with the cuffs at all, to be honest. But then I sort of pointed out to her that probably going to have to shorten the length of the arms for her, so it would be a really good idea to get a really good idea of how long the arms were for her. And that's why I'm making her do the facing with the collar on it as well, so that we can get a really good idea of like if it closes enough for her, or if it, you know, just, yeah. And Lynn asked what flavour of hula hoops. Barbecue beef, which is the one that Lynn loves as well. Gin and Pin says, morning peeps, might get around to cutting out an itch to stitch a Lego tank out of the velvet leftover from my dressmaker's ball beach pyjamas today. Nice. Caroline says to Hannah, I have my wearable muslin fabric selected, just need to get the pattern printed. Alison says, hello, Shan and Peeps. Greeting from gorgeous warm night in Bendigo. Hope you're well. Shan, how is Chiana today? She is very good. She is doing her best The Bed is Lava impression, so only sleeping on the clean clothes that I have put on the bed to be put away, because of course she is. Susan says, good evening, Shan and Peeps. Looking forward to all the coats. Me too. Elena says, so you are giving us a lot of treats next week. Nice. Yes, many videos next week. Hannah says to Caroline, yeah, that's going to take a bit of paper. Lynn said, I read the barbecue hula hoops. Jen and Pin says, I'm going to try making Sundays cutting out days so I can sew in short bursts through the week. I want to be more productive, but don't think I'll make 100 things by the end of the year. I mean, remember, this is my full-time job. Yeah. I remember that the video that I commented on about the lady who was just like, oh, I hate doing these whole, like, I hate watching the year in review videos because it's just like, look at all the things I've made. But honestly, I really enjoy seeing what my favorite creators have made. Like Bianca's year in review was amazing. I don't know if Bernadette's going to do one this year. She did last year. But I really enjoy seeing those. And like Bianca's made a lot of things. Bernadette never really makes a lot of things. But then the difference between the two of them is that Bernadette's hand sews most of her things and does much more elaborate projects. And Bianca tends to do kind of repeats and variations on a theme. But I really enjoy seeing what other people have made. And I never feel like it's a criticism of me. I don't feel like it's like, oh, well, because I've made this many things, you are failing at life. It's like, no, this is an interesting experience. And I really enjoyed looking back over it. I think what was interesting as well for me was how little I got made in the first 6 months of the year, because I just was miserable. really miserable, and even my happy place wasn't making me happy. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Michelle says, yes, ma'am, Jersey Scraps is me. How do I make a payment and all that? I'm excited to try something new. I've got to do it for Nimue as well. I meant to say, I'm going to put them up on the shop for you so that you can pay, and then the shop will calculate the postage because it's done by weight. And what I will say is the postage is probably going to come out quite expensive to Bermuda, but if I take it to the shop, to the post office, and it's significantly lower, I will refund you the difference. If it's any more, I won't charge you anymore. So the shipping might come out expensive. There's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'll put them up on the shop. And then Michelle, are you on the Peeps group? Because if you are, I'll put a link in the Peeps group for you. Or you can Facebook Messenger me on the Peeps group or email me and I can send you the link that way. Right. Andy says, morning, first time joining you. Hello from Glasgow. Good morning. Anna's here. Hey, yeah, Happy New Year's to you too, Anna. Caroline says, one of your nice colourful scarves tucked in the neck will keep the black away from your face and you have it. Yes, and I have many colourful scarves, and that is a trick that the very lovely Nicola from All About the Outfit did mention as well. And I think the coat's going to work because it's a V-neck. So I'm not doing the one that's the high neck right up to the top. Diana says, Guru, this is my first time using Rick Rack and it's frustrating. Oh no. So Kate says, hello from Melbourne. It's almost 11 p.m. and still 24 degrees outside. I am jealous. I am very jealous. Yes. Yes. I'm wondering if I should maybe have a look into an ancestral visa and get a move to Australia, because I seriously have dated all of the available guys that are here. And yeah, Jojo, I haven't heard from Pilot Boy since Friday night. Nothing yesterday. Not a thing. Which annoys me. So never mind. Another one to send off to the land of lost men. Jojo says, I'm making the Patreon dress a full drama version this week. I cannot wait to haunt my house in it. Remember the 8 meters of stretch velvet I ended up buying on the Gold Hawk Road? It's finally met its destiny. Nice, that's going to look amazing. Julia says, hello from a wet, windy Rossendale in Lancashire. Good morning. Lynn says, yum. Yes, they are yum. Anna says, I've not had beef hula hoops for a long time now. They are yummy. They are indeed. Linda says, Happy New Year. I want to thank you for all you do. Your vlog makes everyone feel like they have a special friend. Oh, thank you. Alison says, hula's keto. No, not remotely. Not remotely. At the moment, I am trying to kick sugar again. And I've gone for this little thing, which is called Killer Vanilla. And it's like a smelling salt, but it's vanilla. Oh my God, this smells amazing. And actually, you know what? It's really working. Like I'm slowly working my way back to keto. I need to get myself a better snack. But my snacks have been chocolate digestives for the last few weeks. And so now crisps. But yeah, no, this is not keto, but it will go that one. Sophia says, hi Sham, I've just spent the morning catching up with your videos. Love your plans, and the Matilda dress is just chef's kiss. Oh, thank you. Anna says Bianca's was awesome, her year in review. It really was. Very much enjoyed that. Have watched it more than once. Jojo says, I think I managed about 3 or 4 makes last year. Not like me at all. Fingers crossed for a stronger 2023. Indeed. Pretzel, everybody pretzel. Sue says, good morning all. Good morning. Charlotte says, morning from equally wet and windy Hastings. Good morning, Charlotte. Alison says to Kate, it's warmer in Bendigo. Marissa says, yes, please, move here. Yeah. I mean, my relatives have bred like bunnies, so there's more of them in Australia than I have in the UK. So I think that's how an ancestral visa works. So maybe I should just move to a different country and try dating there. I mean, honestly, guys, I matched with somebody this morning and started a conversation with this guy, and he's like, I said, "What are you up to this fine Sunday?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a little bit hungover. I had a really good night last night." I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah, I drank magic wine with my friends on Friday night, so I feel your pain. And then he immediately went to, "Oh yeah, trouble is when I'm hungover, I get really horny." I was like, "Really?" He's like, I said, "Oh, I've never heard of that symptom before. Well, good luck with that. Enjoy the rest of your day." And he was like, "Are you not horny?" Why? So delete. And then there's this other one that I've matched with this morning who in his profile says, "Oh, I think my old job might be why I find it so difficult to date. If you ask politely, I'll tell you what it is." So the first question I ask him is, "What was your old job?" I said, I've had an unusual work history as well, so it'd be really interesting." And he's like, "Okay, tell me yours and I'll tell you, and can you guess mine?" So I replied with, "No, I asked first and politely, your turn." And he's not said anything. He hasn't realized he's met the most stubborn person in the world. That conversation's just going to sit there and never do anything again either. Yeah. Christine says perhaps he's flying. He's not. I know he's on his break. He has been. He told me he's on his 3 days off: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No. And what's been weird is the entire week that we have been chatting, where he's been all over Europe, he has been really, really good at checking in wherever he lands. And he's like, "Hello, I am here. Hello, I am here." He's back at home, and I get it. Like, he has his own friends and life to catch up with as well. But we left our messaging on Friday night with him. "I will voice call you tomorrow to properly arrange details for the date on the 10th of January, which is Tuesday." And nothing. And he has been online because there's an app, a video app we've been using, and it says that he's been online. So it's like, I don't understand anymore. I really don't. I do not understand why people are like, let's do the thing, let's meet up. And then the minute they say they're going to meet up, they disappear. It's the same with the guy on the oil refinery. It was like, text. Let's meet up on this date. Nothing. I mean, honestly, what's the point? Oh, and if Stalker Steve, if you happen to be watching this, because I know you comment on the channel, well, you used to comment on the channel because I blocked you all the while. Dude, seriously, your reaction to not getting your own way is the reason that you are nicknamed Stalker Steve, and I don't want to ever see you again, even as friends, just in case you're watching. Sorry. Anyway, let's so yeah, Christine, no, he's not flying. He's on his days off at the moment. Sue says, "Didn't hear from my Tinder guy for a week, but when we did reconnect, there was a valid reason." Okay. I mean, yeah, there may well be a valid reason. It's just really weird to have gone from the conversation we had on the Friday night with like, "I will call you tomorrow," to nothing. So I don't know. MJB says, "Evening, Sean. I'm excited to see your coats. I too have 3 planned this year. I'll wait for an Aussie winter to start though." I think I can imagine wool. I can't imagine wool at the moment. Yeah, no, I can imagine that. Sue says, "Oh, I'm married." She's married to the Tinder guy. Oh, okay, with the valid reason. I mean, to be fair, it has. It's just weird because the last time he disappeared for this long, he told me he was going to disappear for this long. He was like, "I'm going to be super busy tomorrow, so I won't be able to contact you at all," which is fine. And it's like, yeah, that's no problem. But yeah, to just be like, "Oh my god, no, let's do this. I'm going to come and see you on this date, and I'll call you tomorrow to arrange further plans." To nothing. So yeah. Jojo says, "Suddenly decides she doesn't like pilots anymore." I mean, you did say you had some. Yeah, I mean, like I say, who knows? He may be incredibly busy on a Saturday catching up with everybody, and he might now be asleep recovering from his hangover from last night. I don't know. It's just that he was online, and yeah. I don't understand the thought process of arranging a date and then ghosting. I just don't get it. It's like, why? Because it's one of those things, like, if you don't want to meet up, that's totally fine. Just say. I was talking to this guy the other day on the Isle of Wight, actually, and he texted me in the middle of dinner with mum and dad. And I picked the phone up and looked and put it down because I was like, well, I can't give that its proper attention now. And then immediately he went, haha, you've broken your own rule, you're ghosting. And I was like, no, I'm having dinner with my parents. But then he replied with, the next one was like, oh, I'm bored. And I'm like, okay, but even if you are bored, that's not a great way to start a conversation. It's like, I'm not here to amuse you. That's not, like, no. Elena says, totally off topic. Can you add a link to the Polish fabric shop? Didn't find it under the latest video where you were talking about it. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I actually did write out and go through and add links to the entire year in review video, and I didn't have enough room in the description. I was halfway through adding them in and the description got full, and I took everything else out, which is why I decided, do you know what? I'm just going to put in the videos that I mentioned, because everything else I've put the pattern up on screen. But yeah, the fabric shop, if you go, I can't pronounce it, it begins with a D. If you go to the December makes video, the link for the fabric shop is in there. Alison says, there's nothing wrong having a nice treat now and then. We all need to spoil ourselves. We do indeed. Linda says, what day is your next Goldhawk Road? I would like to find Goldhawk Road meetup. I would like to finally be able to come across the pond and do this. It is the 22nd of March. Have I got that right? I have. Wednesday, the 22nd of March. Sue says, oh yeah, I had a few of those when internet dating. Yeah. And so many people keep saying to me, like, go out and meet people. Where? I've dated somebody from Salsa and really don't want to go back there. I am going to be joining a gym, but last time I went to a gym, I ended up marrying my personal trainer, so I don't want to do that again because I don't want to be that girl. And I work from home and I don't have any close friends on the island to go out with. So yeah, online dating is the valid option at the moment. Not forever, hopefully, but at the moment. And honestly, I know I'm kind of, it's funny. I have to laugh about this kind of stuff because if I don't, it will just get depressing. But it is funny. I just, it's funny. So yeah. Linda says, did your mother knit your sweater? She did indeed. It's a Drops Design one. I will try and find the link to it to put it in the description after I finish this video. I always go back and add what I'm wearing and try and remember anything that I've mentioned as well. So if I remember the Polish fabric shop, I'll try and put it in the description of this video later on as well. Mim says, come to Frankfurt. We have a lot of nice guys. Actually, one of the catfishes that I experienced had stolen a German guy's phone photos. So yeah, he was very cute. Sophia says, why is it some of the prettiest women struggle dating? I think everyone just struggles dating. I think it's just dating. Like, it's just hard. It is. It's just hard. So yeah. Janice says good morning. Debbie says good morning, but good morning to both of you. Jillian Pin says, I went to a gallery opening before Christmas and a man gave me his card. I wasn't looking, but was walking on air for a week. I was wearing my velvet beach pajamas and he said he liked my look. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Do we have anything like that here? See, the few times I've been to tourist attractions on the island, it's always been families, which is fine. I don't know, like, just go out with sandwich board on and ring my bell. Hello, looking for love. Sue says recovering from a hangover is not a valid reason. It's frustrating. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I have no idea what happened to Pilot Boy. I was desperately trying to think of another funny nickname for him, but Pilot Boy seems to be appropriate. So I don't know. He might resurface. He was very adamant that he wanted to come and see me on the 10th. That was his. Because at first he was like, no, can't do next week, totally busy. Week after, I have a week of leave. And then suddenly he popped up with like, I want to come see you on the 10th. I was like, okay. And I don't know. That's what I can't understand. I don't understand the mentioning of dates, like actual booking of like, are you free on this date? Yes, I'm free on this date, because oil rig guy did this as well. Oil refinery guy did this as well. Like, are you free on this date? Yes, I am. And then nothing. Like, why say the day? Why be like, I want to meet you on this date, and then ghost? Why not just ghost? Like, you know, when I started my blog back in 2010, it was my dating disasters. I mean, to be fair, when I started that blog, I actually had started seeing somebody, Sen Hobby. He was technically Brazilian descent. So yeah, it was like a Portuguese nickname. And he's now married to somebody that I used to work with. And he fizzled out quite quickly because he wasn't ready for a relationship and I was, and it was just like, you know, that's fine. And we remained friends for the longest time, but he's now married to somebody who doesn't like him having female friends, which is fine. Off we go, no problem. There's been a few of those in my life. And yeah, so it then started going on dating disasters. I mean, at the time I thought they were genuine dates, but oh my goodness, it was funny. It was very, very funny. And a lot of my early blog posts are these dating disasters. I did actually have one guy. I told him we were out on a date, and I told him about it because it was just like, he's like, what do you do for fun? I was like, actually this. And he was like, right, okay. And he found it, and I'd written a post about him as well, where I just said there was no spark. I said he'd, you know, super attractive guy, had a lovely time with him, genuinely enjoyed the evening, just didn't fancy him at all. And you need that spark, and it has to be there. I mean, it's not the same thing as if you've known somebody for a really long time and then suddenly the spark happens because this person is naturally in your life. Like if you met someone through a dating app, at the time it was My Single Friend. If you meet someone through a dating app and you go on that and there's no physical attraction, I just, you know, like I did say to one guy, like, I think you're lovely, but I, you know, like if you'd like to be friends, that'd be great. And he's like, I'm not looking for friends. I was like, okay. There's a funny story about him as well. But yeah, so this guy found a blog, and I'd written a nice, you know, I'd had a nice time with him, but he messaged me and he was just like, well, actually, I think you're wrong. I think the most disastrous relationships start with that spark. I think it's much better to kind of grow on each other, and you don't need that initial attraction to form a lasting attachment. And it was like, okay, well, that's your point of view, and that's totally fine. And I completely understand what you're saying. But for me, I've tried that in the past and it doesn't work. I need to be attracted to the person that, if they're going to touch me and me not go, get off, like I have to be attracted to them. And so ended up having this back and forth between the two of us, of him just being like, you should date me. And I'm like, oh, but I don't want to. So yeah, I've got I was saying to my friend, actually texted me last night, Siobhan, and she was like, I said, like, dating is just ridiculous. Like, ghosted twice, two catfishes, and a stalker so far from the Isle of Wight. And that's just this round of dating on the Isle of Wight. And she's like, you really need to write that book. I'm like, yep. So yeah. Jenny Pin says I was put off because his name was Nigel. Oh, poor Nigel. But like that took some guts for Nigel to do that, and that was pretty cool. And like you say, you were walking on air for a week afterwards, so that was a lovely thing. Paula says hello, hi. Debbie says, luckily I've not done internet dating. Found mine before it was a thing. Yep. Elena says, thank you. We'll check it out when I get back to my laptop. Awesome, Elena. I will try and remember to add it to this one as well. Mim says, is the Polish shop you mean Juruska? Yes, they have so many beautiful fabrics. There you go, Elena. It's this one, the one right underneath your comment from Mim. Paula says, have been single in ages, and I think that bus has passed me. I'm over 60 and I've learned not to take bullshit from anyone. I think that's my other problem. Yeah, I think I think that's my problem as well, is I am really not willing to settle, and I'm not willing to put up with bullshit anymore. I did for the last 3 years. Like, I'm really thinking about it, the last 3 years or the 2.5 years with Wilson, I compromised so much of things that were important to me, and it imploded the relationship. It wasn't just his fault, it was mine as well, because I did put up with things that I shouldn't have, that I knew were going to bug me, and I should have said something about it a lot sooner than I did. I mean, to be fair, I actually did say things quite a lot sooner than we broke up. It was like that last year. It was constantly me saying, look, can we try and do this, because it would really help me feel like this, and how can I help you feel better in this? And he just wasn't interested. So yeah, never mind. We were not the right people for each other. Should have realized that 10 years ago, the first time around I dated him. But never mind. Kylie says ditto to Paula. Michelle says dating is tough. I swear I attract every weirdo in a 100-mile radius. Same. Michelle says, I read that one. Alison says, you don't go looking for love. Love comes looking for you. You may not meet someone when you least expect it, like I did with the Italian boy. Yeah, everyone keeps saying that, and I have to say, it's kind of, I hope that's not what happens. My best friend once said to me, she's like, oh, my mum didn't meet the love of her life until she was in her 60s. And I thought that was the meanest thing she'd ever said to me. It's like, I don't want to wait that long. So, Mum's here. Hi. Oh, hello. They're admiring your muslin. I've hung it up so it's not getting scrunched and creased.
Oh, right. I thought I put his sleeves in.
Yes.
Also,
the collar. How does that? Because you put half of it on.
Because the other half goes on the lining.
Facing. Yeah. The facing.
No, there's 2 bits of collar.
Yeah.
And one's attached to the lining and not the top.
It's got to be attached to the facing. It's got to be.
No. I don't think so. It's very bizarre.
No, this is a normal way of doing a collar. Where's the rest of the
that's the bit I
instructions?
put on.
Where's the rest of the instructions?
That's the bit I put on.
Yeah.
And then here they show you it on the, is it that bit?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets attached to the facing.
Yeah.
And the lining.
Yeah.
Because there's no back facing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I couldn't do it for the muslin.
you can.
How?
You just attach it to the facing.
Oh.
And pretend that there's a lining there.
Pretend it's a lining.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to do that?
Well, yeah, I think it would be a good idea, because then it will give us an idea of the neckline and also the crossover for you as well, because we may need to just tweak that a little bit, because of where it was meeting up. Yeah. Lynn said that you were very good for putting the cuffs on both sleeves. She's like, I wouldn't have bothered. She did say to put both sleeves on though. So
yes,
I said yes to that.
She said yes. She told me I must do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will it help you work out with breadth of shoulders and stuff?
Yes.
Paula says, I concentrate on my grandchildren and fabric buying and sewing. Love my life. Oh, don't get me wrong, guys. This is the thing. I love my life, and I don't need a man, but I want to date and I want to go on adventures, and I don't need one. but I would like one. But that's the problem, is I'm being very picky. And then it says, when I met my husband on Facebook, my friend's post, we started a debate in the comments and my friend got angry with us. She did send us for coffee in real life. This year is our 10-year wedding anniversary. Oh, that's nice. Charlotte says, Sian inspired me to make a coat epic fail of the week. I just realised I forgot to add seam allowance to the Burda trench coat I was planning to start during the hangout. Oh no! Oh no! I'm going to tattoo it on my brain that I need to add seam allowance to that Burda dandle that I want to do. That was nearly everything that everyone said was seam allowance. Oh, Charlotte, I'm so sorry. Is there? Can you rescue it in any way? Mim says, what happened to Marathon Man? He sent me naked photos of himself, so I blocked him, and now I live in dread of bumping into him in the shop because he lives at the other end of the street. Yeah, and with no context, there was no conversation. We hadn't spoken for a couple of days, no conversation, nothing. Just this picture popped up, and it was way more than I needed. So no, don't need that. Saskia says, so much entertainment with men and dating. Ended up in a very happy with someone I met on a dating website. But before that, geez, oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I mean, you can.
Is that not the right stuff?
Yeah, that's twill tape. That's got zero stretch in it, which is what you want. So yeah, that'll work. And you want to measure from shoulder to shoulder, not on you, not on the thing. Remember? Because if you do it on the thing, it could end up being too big. Do you want me to measure you from shoulder to shoulder?
They haven't seen my new cardigan.
Oh yeah, she's nearly finished it. The one that Nimue got the turn around. Thank you. God, Mother, there's nothing up here anymore. 15 inches.
Oh, literally right across the back.
Isn't that what she said?
No, she just said the shoulders, but.
Yeah, no. You need to mount it from shoulder point to shoulder point, 15 inches, because that way, that's what I read the instruction. Have you got the instructions?
No, I'll take this up then.
That's what I understood from what I read.
Yeah, my buttons.
Yes. Would you like to see Mum's cardigan? Bearing in mind it's not got its shoulder stay in yet.
Do I have to put it on?
Well, you don't have to. Julie says, the best thing happens when you're not looking. I met my husband 30 years ago now on New Year's Eve. We were both dressed as angels. I was in blue tutu and I liked the cut of his jib. See, the trouble is, if I don't actively do things, they're not going to walk into this room. I mean, they might, but that'd probably be weird. So, yeah, I have to sort of I have to do something, because if I don't, I'm never going to meet anybody ever.
I've got to move the
oh yeah,
things a bit and put from the other side, I think.
Oh,
you did them
swap
through. Is that right?
Yeah.
See from here.
Well, we can see you, so.
I'm adjusting my dress.
Yeah. So when you put the shoulder stay in,
yeah. Put it from.
It's going to be that. Do you see what I mean? If you do 15 inches from there to there, that's going to
cross the back.
From here to here,
yeah.
Across the back, yeah.
And in the shoulder?
That's what she says, isn't it? From shoulder point to shoulder point. I swear that's what I read in the pattern.
I thought she meant because there's no shoulder seams, put it where the shoulder seams should be.
She might do, but I thought she meant from here to here, right, so that it would hold it on. Because now that I've adjusted it,
yeah, it fits.
It looks much better.
Yeah.
You might actually want to kind of tweak the roll of this a little more. I know you've sewn it down.
Why?
Well, just because
it's not enough.
No, it needs to
go more.
Turn over a bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you what you should do is put the shoulder. We'll read the pattern.
I'm sure I did. But,
yeah. I'm sure I did as well. That's the trouble. We clearly interpreted it differently. But if we read the pattern and see if you put it from here to here, put it on, then we'll put this on, and then I can help you pin the collar in the right place. But it is beautiful, and I'm sure everyone's telling you it's beautiful. It is.
It will be.
It is. Let's see. Paula says hi to Mum. Jojo says hi to Jane. Michelle says happy new year to Mum and Dad. Ella said hi Jane, you're looking lovely today. Kerry says I get that. Meeting people in conventional way is really hard. I met my husband online 12 years ago, but man, I kissed a few frogs. There's so many frogs. And I have to say as well, like all the ones that are my age and good are happily coupled up. But then what does that say about me?
You're not good.
Yeah, clearly there's got to be
Bad
something
girl.
wrong with me.
No, not wrong with you. You've just
Alison,
led a very interesting life.
I have, yes. Alison says, hello Jane, I have made 2 patch pussycats and we're making more. Have you seen the Pay It Forward channel here on YouTube? Did you make the bear the free pattern? I don't think you've seen the Pay It Forward one, but Susan very much liked her cats.
She did.
They've been nicknamed Henry and Anne because of the beheading nonsense that happened, which does leave Susan open to another 5 cats.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
You'll have to start
to tell her that.
yeah, you'll have to start making them over the year. It's like, well, Anne was the second wife, so we used Catherine first, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we used a Catherine, then Anne, then Jane. Was it Jane Seymour next?
Yes.
And then
Catherine Howard, who got beheaded.
yeah,
as
she
well.
was the young one, wasn't she?
No. Oh, Anne Parr before her.
Anne Parr was the Anne of Cleves.
Yeah, Anne of Cleves. Yeah.
Divorced.
Sorry, Anne of Cleves.
So
Then-
Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard,
Yeah.
Anne of Cleves.
No,
No,
Jane
Catherine
Seymour.
Jane
before-
Seymour, yes, because he loved her, didn't
yeah,
he?
she died.
Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves,
Anne of Cleves.
Catherine Howard,
Catherine
Parr.
That's
So yeah, there's 5 more cats to come. Oh dear. Conjecta says hi to the QQ. Hope you're well. Johanna says hello everyone from rainy North Carolina. Hello. Paula says you're way too young. It's good to be picky. Yes, it is. Stay single. I mean, I've been single for a year now. I want someone to go on adventures with. I mean, yes, I can do it by myself, and I have been looking at travel companies which allow you to travel in a group of other singles and things like that, and that might be what happens. And my niece has booked her flights for Kuala Lumpur, and I am seriously considering if I can financially afford to join her this year. If not, I'll go next year. But we are definitely going to Croatia, which I'm very excited about. The guy who owns or runs a house in Croatia is very attractive, but one of the first things he did was introduce us to his girlfriend. Like, so yeah, just I don't know. Michelle says hello and good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michelle. Long time no see. I hope you are well. Linnea says hello, everyone. Wishing you all a wonderful continuation of the new year. Thank you, Linnea. Charlotte says, I bought 5 meters, so hoping have enough to recut the main pieces. Oh, fingers crossed, Charlotte. I hope so too. Michelle says, good morning, Mrs. Jane. How are you today? Would love to see the dress you made out of the fabric I sent. I'm sure you are beautiful and it's very beautiful. Yes. What you wore on Christmas Day.
Oh, my Christmas dress.
Yes.
And I made it.
Oh, Michelle, if you want to see Mum wearing it, it's in the Festival of Quilts, Lady McElroy video that's up on the channel. Mum was wearing it on the first day there, and she did have immediately someone come over to her and go, oh, I love that fabric, where did you get it from? So yes, you got many compliments that day, did you not? Olivia says, good morning everyone from a very cold Iowa, -2 degrees. Brr. Linnea says, I met my husband during my studies. See, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I want to go to college. God, can you imagine? Ugh.
You could go and do an evening.
No. Everything I'm interested in as well would be predominantly female. Maybe I should just date women. Another one of me? That wouldn't be a nightmare at all. Elena says about Berda, they say in instructions to add seam allowance. I will promise to read the instructions, although I think Karen sent me the German magazine, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Elena says, oh, I read that one. Olivia says, good morning, Jane. Happy to see you. Lynn says, wow, so Jane, your cardigan is fabulous.
It was fun to do.
You learnt new like
I
casting
learned
on.
lots of new techniques. Yeah.
And the finish on the rolled edge is really nice. The I-cord. So, yes.
Yeah.
Conchetta says that is gorgeous. Bree says that cardigan is gorgeous. Anna says Happy New Year, Jane. Wow, it looks amazing. Nicola says wow, beautiful, Jane. Sue says it's gorgeous. Elena says the cardigan is fabulous. Debbie says that is gorgeous. Linda says the rose colour cardigan is like dragonfly wings, gorgeous, very pretty. Petals.
How do you know it is left or right?
The notches, Mum. You've put the notches in, haven't you? There's always notches on the sleeve here. There's a double notch on the back and a single notch on the front, and you've not put them in. That's how you're not knowing which is left or right. Look, you grab the pattern.
Yeah, I'll get the pattern.
It doesn't look like you've traced them in, to be honest.
I thought I had. I've done everything.
Oh, look, you've got a single notch there. So that's the front. There usually is a double notch for the back, but it might be the double notch might be the seam.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
Well, there's certainly one for the front.
Yeah,
That's the upper sleeve.
so.
I'm walking away.
I'm so sorry.
I think that might be the wrong way out. Because you need to make sure that you're putting the pattern piece on this correctly as well. So this is the upper sleeve.
My mentor.
Right.
Where is it?
It's here. So it's that's
That is the
there.
notch.
Did you put?
I
It
put
looks
the
like you.
centre.
It looks like you. Right. So yeah. So hang on. Yeah, centre.
Put that a bit more obvious.
Okay. So this is the front then. Sorry. Front, which means that this is the front.
Cut through.
Okay. So theoretically, the seams should meet up with the seams. If there isn't a double notch on the pattern.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Let's see. Linda, Bree says, I gave my husband my number and it took him 6 weeks to call. 18 years later, it was worth the wait. Oh, nice. Nice. Alison says, beautiful cardigan, Jane. Andy says, was lovely hanging out with you all. Have a great Sunday. And by the way, guys, I have got like my Project Life stuff out. I'm having way more fun chatting with you.
Yeah, Danny said, is Sean doing Jane's
book? No. I will do it. Let's see. Charlotte says, I've sewn loads of birder patterns. I was just having a bad week and was distracted and tired when I was cutting it out. Yeah, that happens. It happens. We all make silly mistakes. It's just one of those things. And like afterwards, you kick yourself. It's like, Mum, you won't mind me saying you've made two of the same with the front of that coat, haven't you? Because it's calico, so it's you having fun there. So this is the back. That's a double notch.
I think that's right.
No. There is an underarm seam as well. If you look at the pattern, there's a square. The pattern there. You can see the square.
Yeah.
That's the underarm. So, like the underarm seam is going to be like about there. There should be a single notch in here somewhere.
Should be in the pattern, but I'll check.
But yeah, look, see on the pattern there.
Yeah.
There's the square.
Yeah.
So you need to put this, mark the underneath. That will be the side seam. 4.
Confucius, he say, listen to Sian. She knows what she's doing.
Well, I just fake it really well.
So that's the under.
That's your underarm. So that's your side seam that you're matching that up with. Okay.
And this is.
And there must be notches because you've got a double notch in your armhole here.
Yeah.
So you've missed out the single notch on the front,
Right.
and you've missed out the double notch on the back.
I think I'll get them out.
It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Do you need me to tidy up a bit then so you've got some room? It's like organising cats.
I've been so careful.
Yeah, but when you're tracing that sort of thing out, Mum, it's really easy to miss stuff because they are tiny.
Yeah.
And like, it is easy to miss. It does happen. Right. Let's see. Paula says, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a beautiful and amazing person, Sian. Ah, thank you.
Too right.
Thank you. Now I just need to find somebody that can actually see that. Jojo says, Tudor history puns? Yes. Yeah, Mum, you're going to need to make 5 more cats.
Yeah.
They'll have to start having like Elizabethan collars or earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
Taking a pun too far, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Leno says, oh my gosh, I realised it was 13 years ago that I met my husband, so we will have a teenage level now. I think what we are saying is you should do social things that you like and you might run into him. Yes. 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 No, the trouble is my social things that I like is going to the cinema. So no. Honestly, I am joining the gym because I do want to get fitter, but also there's boys there. So I'm trying. Charlotte says the cardigan is stunning, Mum. Kylie says there is more women than men, nothing to do with character, it's just down to maths. Christian religion calls us leftover women. Oh wow.
Leftover women.
Oh, I saw that in I saw that the other day on, I think it was TikTok. There was a Chinese lady just saying, yeah, anyone over 30 in China who is still single is classed as a leftover woman.
Horrible.
Okay. Gin and Pin says, I did a pottery class, all female, weaving group, all female. Gym is full of boys. I'm 58, going to be more active on campaign for real ale, just say. This is the thing, like, I'm not going to go to something that I, like, somebody did say that I should take up sailing. Like, why? It's cold and wet out there. I would be miserable. That's a horrible way to meet somebody, especially because, can you imagine? I'd meet somebody that's just like, yeah, let's go sailing every weekend. It's just, no, I want to stay in the warm.
These very big.
So no, I'm going to go meet someone at the gym because at least they want to be inside.
Why is it always the last one?
Because it's always the last one. Yeah. Lisa says you could try a night class of photography or similar. Nope. No. One of my exes is a specialist in nighttime photography. Been there, done that. Nope. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult and shoot down all your ideas. Your ideas are good, but no, serious horror flashbacks to that one. He won't stop texting Mum either. How long has it been? 6 years?
Is it really?
Yeah, and he still texts Mum. Can you just let Sian know this? Right. Yeah, look, double notches.
There's one. I've got to go to the other one.
Well, no, let's do that one first now that you've done it.
Yeah. But why?
Double notches.
Thank you.
Size 14, smallest size. Lisa says, P.S. You should be picky. Yeah.
Quite right.
Yeah. Lottie says, I met my husband at the knitting and stitching show. You never know where you're going to find the right person. Married 11 years this year, and he is still the better knitter. Huh? You found the one single man at the knitting and stitching show. Well done. Oh, have you seen the guy for Monterey Fabrics, the father and son team? Oh, he is very pretty. He is very pretty indeed.
He hasn't come though for the last couple of years.
Monterey Fabrics?
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen them. No. I mean, you know, he wasn't allowed to for a while, and yeah.
They've sort of disappeared, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you've done. Right, okay.
Is there?
I wondered what you've done with these little notches here. That's for the short sleeve. These are meant to be straight.
Oh,
you're meant
are they?
Yeah, you're meant to continue from one line to the other. I did wonder what was going on there. But that's for the short sleeve with the big collar.
So just carry on there.
Yeah, and the same over here. Although you're not really lined that up very well, but
No.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I did wonder what that little notch was for.
Oh, I'd done those notches and not these notches.
Yeah. Many notches. Many notches. Let's see. Olivia says, what a wonderful daughter you are, Sian, always taking care of your mama. Yeah. I don't know if sewing in PJs is here, but yeah, this is the other side of things. I had a phone call yesterday. What should I be doing with this? I'm not sure. It was a pocket, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
It was the pocket. She was like, oh,
no, I just wanted to ask you whether
whether you
had to do it or not for the.
But trying to like visualize that via the phone, it's just like, I'll calm down. Walked outside and the heavens opened. I looked like a drowned rat, and then it stopped as minute I got here. Yeah. But then I supervised while she sewed the rest of it up so I could try it on. She's like, when are you going to start yours? And I was like, well, I'm waiting until you finish this muslin, Mum, because basically it's the same size that I'm going to need. So
just a bit longer and a.
Yep. Lynn says, if it's a two-piece sleeve, there should be a single notch for the shoulder seam, a single notch for the front, square mark for the underarm, and double notch for the back. And the two-piece seams may not match with the bodice seams. Yeah, you are correct, Lynn. I think Mum was just ignoring.
But it's the last two pieces of tissue.
And this one's fine. You've got this one on. You've done this one. Look, single notch.
Is that enough?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Quite sure.
Yes. Circle for the shoulder.
Nothing else.
Square for the underarm. Double and single notch.
Okay.
And the double notch is the back. Right, now that you've added it, let's put it on the pattern pieces the right way around. Where's the underarm?
All for two notches.
Well, they're an important two notches.
Yes, they are.
So you're going to cut those in. Just because you cut them in on the other side, so it will make it easier to. There you go.
Thank you very much.
No worries. And then, yeah, you want to trim off that, and it will be the same with these. You want to trim off these as well, like that. Just smooth those lines out. They've not marked that one very well.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I thought it must be something to do with the facing.
Yeah, no. Olivia says, I worked at a bank. My husband was a customer. That was 20 years ago. We don't have banks anymore, do we really?
Not in the same way. No, even that sort of avenue is.
Although, to be fair, when I was a travel agent, I did meet someone as a travel agent. I did meet somebody when I was working at the casino. I have met people in many different ways. I am not going to go and get a job at a bar. Just before anyone comes up with that idea, I do not want to be a barmaid, ever. I grew up in a pub and I've still never once in my life poured a pint, and I'd like to keep that. No. Carol says, good morning from New York City. Good morning. Olivia says, did anyone watch the Northern Solstices live yesterday? I only caught towards the end. I managed to catch the beginning, but I was trying to edit, so I had to get back on with doing that. I'm going to catch up with the rest of it later. Carol says, years ago, I heard of a woman who took an automotive repair class. There were 13 women and 1 man. That was New York City in the 80s for sure. Yeah, because everyone's been given the same advice. Go to these places. Men hang out here. Kylie says leftovers tend to taste better. Jojo says photographers, nope. Yeah, been there, done that, nope. Christine says, I did, Olivia, it was so much fun. Elena says, maybe cat cafe or animal shelter is a potential hunting territory. I love that, hunting territory. Sue says, have you read Jane Fallon Just Got Real? No, I haven't. Anna says, sailing. Can you imagine sewing? That guy, the guy can sail while you sew. Yeah, no. Just no. Linnea says, you won't meet someone you like if you do things you don't like. Exactly. If there is there like shows for gaming, Comic-Con or similar in the UK? We have that here. Yeah, actually, London Film and Comic Convention. Used to go to that quite a lot. I'd like to go to that again, actually.
You ought to come to the Ventnor Fringe next year too.
Okay.
That's a prelude to Edinburgh.
Yes.
Fringe.
Yes. Yeah. Carolyn says, hello, sweet peeps. Hello. Linda says, all of us here watching you right now, and we can't fix you up with the perfect guy. We must know someone, but then again, you might hate us if it didn't work out. I actually have had somebody, not that it was romantic, but somebody that messaged me for the first time. Somebody slid into my DMs on Instagram, which was quite sweet, actually. He was very nice. So yeah, that was very sweet of him. But he lives in Canada, so yeah. I was saying before you came down, Mum, I was saying maybe I should take advantage of the Australian ancestral visa and move down there, because I think I've exhausted the UK dating pool.
Oh dear. I don't think you have yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. He said he'd call me yesterday. Nothing. And I know he's been online, because there's one of the messaging apps that we use says when you were last online, and so I know he's been online. Well, I just, like I was saying, what I don't get is why arrange an actual date and say I will call you tomorrow so we can sort this out, and then ghost.
And you really don't think?
I don't know. I've just got this feeling I'm not going to hear from him ever again.
Maybe his phone's still broken.
Possibly, but how did he get onto that other messaging app? Oh, and he's changed his Tinder profile around as well and added a description to it. So, I mean, I'm still on Tinder. I'm talking to other people. I don't mind that he's talking to other people. That's totally fine. Like, I'm not expecting exclusivity from the first text message, because that's just ridiculous. But yeah, no, I think he's ghosted. No, I don't understand. I do not understand. Where did we get to? Catherine says wrangling. Catherine says wrangling deep navy coating wool here, keeping track of left sides and rights so I don't end up with 2 left sides is interesting. Yes, we know this, don't we? We do. Thankfully, this stuff actually has a side that's. Oh, hang on.
Is it?
I was going to say one side that feels much nicer than the other, but they both feel really nice.
So I even know from the beginning.
Oh gosh, right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a side and we will write on it with chalk. Are you struggling? Why are you struggling?
Well, it's got the gathering there, but none here. Which is what they told me to do. Yeah, that's the back. There should be more gathering here. There's a little bit here. Oh, you've put the gathering stitches in. No, so you've got, no, your gathering stitches probably went from circle to circle.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
That's the big circle, which is the shoulder seam.
Oh, so it should have gone around there as well.
Yeah, if you give me I wonder if you put those notches, the top, upper sleeve pattern piece.
That one?
Yeah. Yeah, if you look, circle to circle, there's what those little circles are. Just fudge it in, it's only the muslin.
Where are we? Let's see. Sue says, I watched the Soul Sisters. I'm looking forward to catching up on the end of it. Like I say, I only caught the beginning. Jen and Pin says, my 3 married siblings all got pre-owned partners. One met hers at Amateur Dramatics. Another was a friend of a friend. And the last one has been together so long I can't remember how they met. Oh, Julie's here. Hello. Sue says, she's fab, hilarious writer. Julie says, hi to Mum. Sue says, Comic Con in Liverpool. Jojo says, when I learned to fix cars, my class was filled with 17-year-old lads. And Julie says, cording a soft corset here, it takes so much time. Oh, I can imagine. And Carol says to Catherine, mark everything with painter's tape. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Get some washi tape out and mark the wrong side with washi tape. Yeah.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, that was Carol. Bree says, did you tell these men about your channel on YouTube? No. I've had a few. I say that I teach people to sew for a living. And then if anyone presses, I will get to the point that, yes, I have a YouTube channel. But I try and avoid giving them any of my social media handles because I don't want them to see this ahead of meeting me. I'd like them to meet me as a person rather than the YouTube person. And not that there's very much difference between the two, but no. No, I don't share that. Ever, if I can help it. I don't mind them seeing it after we've met. Like, after we've met, that's totally fine. But no, not ahead of actually meeting up. Olivia says, I had to mark the right side with chalk when I did my daughter's cloak. Lottie says, he might get back to you. I had given now husband my Ravelry name and it took him months to get in touch. I mean, I don't know. He may have a really genuinely valid excuse for disappearing for a day and a half now. Like, he really might do. But it's just so weird that he's like, I've decided I want to come and see you on the 10th. Okay, I can do that. I'd like to do this because I can't cook for you. So, because there's going to be no kitchen. So how about we go for a Korean barbecue? I was like, that would be awesome. Love that kind of food. And he's like, awesome. We can go to Southampton and then go back over to the Isle of Wight or vice versa. I said, that we can. He says, done. We'll voice call you tomorrow. We'll get my phone back and we can make further plans.
Maybe he hasn't got his phone back.
But how did he get onto Tinder to update his profile?
Maybe on the computer.
And how did he get onto the other one? Is a video call one. And he's got me on there. So if his phone has died, why didn't he just send me a little message on there when he was on there? Because he was on there saying, my phone is still dead.
Pass.
Yeah, exactly. There isn't a good reason. And you know what? If he is messing me around and this is how he treats people day to day, then that would bug the crap out of me anyway. So, but like when he said,
but so far he's been alright.
Well, yeah, up until this point he's been pretty good because he had one day he's like, I'm not going to be able to talk today because I am super, super busy. And I didn't hear from him for 24 hours, and that's fine. But he then popped up and he was like, hi, back, missed you. And I'm getting the feeling that it's being love bombed as well. Apparently love bombing is a thing.
What's love bombing?
You're amazing, I've missed you. And like really just being overly, superly affectionate and like grandiose statements before you've even met somebody. And he hadn't been doing that. But yeah, we'd gotten to the point in the conversation where I'd said, look, you're either too good to be true, meant in the best possible way. Really, really looking forward to meeting you. And he's like, I feel the same about you. And he's like, even if this doesn't work out between us, I would really love us to be friends because you're awesome. So why? I just don't understand. Paula says, why are they active on dating sites and then not interested? My friend's experience. Very bad manners. Then met a couple of months and then he told her that he's not ready for a relationship. Yeah. Apparently that's just a way of saying not ready for a relationship with you. And they think that that's a nicer way of saying that rather than like, I think you're a very nice person, I just don't think you're right for me. And then, I mean, I get it. There's not everybody's mature enough to hear that and go, okay, fine, fair enough. Because it's not fun to hear that, but it's also better than like, I'm not ready for a relationship and then seeing them date somebody else 5 seconds later. It's like, just, I mean, honesty at the end of the day really is the best policy, as cliche as that sounds. But yeah, no, this the guy that I told you about this morning, the one that I messaged, and he's just like, he says in his profile, my past job might be the reason I'm single. If you ask nicely, I'll tell you what it is. So I asked nicely and just said, you know, and he's like, no, you tell me your work history and guess mine. It's like, no, I asked first at your request and I've heard nothing back from him. And I'm not going to either, I don't think. And I'm stubborn, so no. Nope. Carol says, Catherine says to Carol, his has tailor's tax, so can keep track like that. Nice. Linda says, Canadian guys are pretty sweet. I know I'm married to one. I met him when I moved across the road from him when I was 11. I knew he was the one, even though I was more interested in dolls. Aww. I remember at my birthday this year, well, no, not this year, I haven't had one yet, but my birthday last year when Jojo came down, Rachel was there, Erica was there, and they all came over for Sunday lunch at ours, and they were all talking about how they met their partners, and pretty much everyone was just like, sort of, I knew I was going to marry him within days of seeing them. And then Dad was talking about when he'd met Mum like for the second time, and Dad burst into tears in the nicest way. He was very emotional. And it was just like, I was sitting there and I'm like, I remember when I first saw Chiana. It was so lovely to be with so many people that are so happy in their relationships. But it was sitting there just like, God damn it. Olivia says, my husband is my second, I'm his third. When I met him, I had decided I just wanted to be alone. 20 years later, he's my best friend. I mean, yeah, technically I'm still married.
Yeah, you are.
You know, that's a successful relationship, like 17 and a half years. It'll be 18 years I met him on Valentine's. Well, we got together on Valentine's Day. And then broke up the next Valentine's Day and got married in between. So that was intelligent. But yeah, technically I'm still married. So, and somebody, oh my goodness, somebody in the comments last time I mentioned that said, oh, actually, well, because you're still married, you're actually putting it out in the world that you don't really want a relationship. No. No. That was no. No. But yeah, I am going to be getting divorced this year, I've decided, because yeah, for me, not for anything else. But yeah. Linda says, he finally caught me when I was 24. I'm a really slow runner, lol. Jennifer says, upholstery course was all female as well, except elderly instructor. Some really hot guys at Sunderland Glass Museum, glass bearing studio though. All these new things to know. Don't start on emojis. Cecilia says, good day everyone, good day. Linda says, my mum got hit on getting a ride in Disney. Lol, she wasn't interested. Wow. Lottie says, haha, well, he is a shooting out. Bet he wouldn't expect Playboy Bunny to be your answer. Yeah. He is missing out. I mean, yeah. Like this guy's all like cocky with the like, yeah, but I've no idea what his old job is. He's currently a personal trainer. So yeah. But yeah, he's like, and I'm like, bet I can one up you. But nope, no reply. So there we go. Elena says it's Hallmark and Disney's fault. They have made some expectations for love bombing so unrealistic. Yes. Caroline said, I was 16 when I met Mark. Next year is our Ruby wedding anniversary. Aww. Gig Racer says, hi peeps, hope you're all having a lovely day. I'm chilling on the couch with a broken knee, so no sewing for the past 3 weeks. Ouch, you poor thing. Michelle says, when I met my husband, I didn't know he was flirting with me for 3 months. Clearly, I'm clueless. I just thought he was being polite. Oh, that's adorable. That's really cute. Julie says, if I may ask, why are you still married? Because we paid for the wedding and I want him to pay for the divorce. Again, my stubbornness. Yeah. To be fair, we needed to stay married for a period of time anyway, which we've done more so now. But he did approach me at one point and he was like, yes, I need to marry my girlfriend so she can work in South Africa. So can we have a divorce, please? And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. I'll sign all the paperwork and stuff like that. He's like, are you not going to pay for it?
Piece of work.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah. No, so you want me to pay for the divorce so that you can marry your new girlfriend? The answer to that was no. And funnily enough, they didn't get married. Well, they didn't get married. Well, at least if they did, they shouldn't have done. But no, he broke up with her a little while later and then messaged me and he was like, well, we're still married. Should we give it another go? We're like, no. So yeah. Olivia says, when I first met my husband, I told him, you don't want to date me. I have a wicked mouth. I don't return phone calls. I'm always late. He married me anyway. Also a quick temper. Nice. Gig Racer says, met my husband online via a dating site. Mind you, it was when that was a weird thing. That was 14 years ago. I named him Captain Slow because it took him so long to actually make a move. Yeah, I have been on dating sites for 14 years as well now. I mean, not the entire time, obviously, because there's been a couple of relationships in there. 1 6-month one, 1 2.5 year one. But yeah, that was definitely online. It was my single friend that my friend put me on. So yeah, because I got broken up with by someone who really broke my heart, not my ex-husband, the one after that. So, no. MJB says, I met my husband in a nightclub who headbutted who depends on who is telling the story. Love it. Debbie says, I love your stories. You're a sitcom waiting to happen. And Elena says, I'll be waiting for that book from you. I mean, maybe I really should like write my dating disasters books. Because I've got so many. One of the first dates I went on the Isle of Wight was again a guy from Tinder. And so we agreed to meet, and we agreed to meet in Cowes. And I told him I lived in St Lawrence and so that I would be driving, and he was like, okay, yeah, Cowes, let's meet in Cowes. I was like, okay. And he lived in Newport, so he drove to Cowes as well. And he told me to park in a specific place, and it was a Friday night, so this specific car park is on the seafront. It was packed, so I had to park at another one, and I put heels on because he said he was 6'2". He was not 6'2", and so I was about this much taller than him in my heels. And Cowes also has heels like this. So I got there and I was like, well, where are we going? He's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, oh, I thought we were going for dinner. He's like, yeah, I thought we'd just walk around and find somewhere. It's like, okay. So we went past one of the little Indian shops, little Indian restaurants there, and went in. And there was one other table of 3 guys who were carb loading before their giant night out of drinking. And the waiter sat us next to them. So we were having the awkward let's get to know each other conversation in front of a group of guys who were carb loading for alcohol soaking up purposes, but also drinking beer at the same time and having a whale of a time listening up to us having this awkward get to know you conversation. Neither of us could drink because both of us were driving. And oh, it was just so awkward. It was so awkward, and I just cringe. Like I said, and he lied about his height, and it was just like, oh, why? Why? So we went for a drink, like a soft drink, in a pub, and he didn't know cows at all. So he didn't know. So we went to the Fountain, which is like the loudest kind of young person, like, let's just drink cheap beer here before we carry on doing a pub crawl up the high street kind of pub. So we couldn't hear each other talk either. And then he'd parked his car miles further away because, again, the car park that he'd suggested was full. So he had to park even further away. So he wanted me to drive him in my car to his car. And I said yes, I should not have done. But I did say yes and drove him to it, and it turned out it was a van, and it was like, okay. And I was like, so where do you live? He's like, oh, I live in Newport. And I was like, why didn't we go out in Newport? And he's like, I don't know. But then he messaged me a couple of days later, and he's like, would you like to go out again? It's like, no. I mean, I wrote a whole kind of online dating survival guide after like 10 years, 14 years ago now. Wow, I'm old. Yeah, 14 years ago. After a few disastrous dates, I wrote a whole online dating survival guide of like how to navigate the online world and mistakes that I've made or dates had made with me that I thought other people should know about, because clearly no one was talking about these things because it was quite a new thing at the time. And it's like, oh, if we ever tell anyone how we met, it's not online. It's like, it was that kind of era. And one of them was like, don't go for dinner on a first date. Like, it can progress into dinner if you guys are getting on really well, but don't agree to a sit down dinner for a first date. Like, meet up for drinks or coffee or something like that first, because it's much easier to escape from that than it is to escape from a sit down dinner. And I should have listened to my own advice and not gone for a dinner date with this guy, because it just was awkward. It was so awkward. Yeah. Yeah. Julie says, I met my husband through a friend who told me about this guy that he went to play D&D and wanted to watch. Oh, cool. We then lost contact, and then in 2004, I think, I was out working near where he lived, not knowing that he had moved, decided to ask him if he wanted to meet up for a cup of coffee. Ah, that is nice. Elena says it could be a series. I mean, I have so many of these. So yeah, my one more and then we'll move on to something else. My best friend at the time had put me on My Single Friend, and she'd written, I was completely against it, but she'd written me such an amazing write-up that I was just like, okay, fine, let's give this a go. So My Single Friend, your friend does your write-up for you. You add the photos, what you're looking for, your details, and then you can write a little bit if you want. I literally wrote one line, was just like, as above. Because like Louisa had just done this amazing thing for me, so I was like, okay. And your friend can also go through and pick out guys for you. So she matched me with this guy called Dominic. She was like, this guy looks amazing, you really ought to talk to him. So I matched with him, he matched with me, we started chatting away, getting on really well. We met for coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I met for a hot chocolate or a cup of tea or something, but we met for coffee, and coffee turned into dinner, and that dinner turned into closing the restaurant, and that turned into going to the local gay bar, because that was the only place that was open and still serving drinks, and it's a really nice bar. But yeah, so we went in there, and it was just like, we even had a kiss goodnight, and it was just like, wow, like amazing. It just got on so well, and just really enjoyed his company, and it was a really, really amazing first date out there. So I was like, okay, this is good. And he texted the next day, and he was just like, oh, I really enjoyed myself, I'd love to see you again. But yeah, me too. So we met up again on a Wednesday this time. and it was a lunch date. And I went to the city because he worked in the city, and I was self-employed at the time, so like my schedule was way more flexible. So I met up with him for lunch, and we had a wonderful time, and he was just as nice as he was last time. And so we agreed to go for a Sunday roast that Sunday. And then suddenly, like, the texts sort of stopped. And I was like, okay. So day before the Sunday, I hadn't heard from him for 2-3 days. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Saturday, I texted him. I was just like, haven't heard from you. Hope you're okay. Are we still on for roast dinner tomorrow? And he was like, oh, actually, I've got something I need to tell you. I've had a little bit of a problem. My girlfriend. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue with my girlfriend at the moment. So I won't be able to make Sunday. I was just like, maybe the issue your girlfriend has with you, that you're on a dating site taking other girls out for lunch and dinners and kissing them, that could be the issue, right? So I was just like, okay. Well, he was a walking douchebag. So anyway, so I was just like, okay, well, never mind. Like, there's plenty. I have to say, it is kind of a little bit of an ego boost as well, a dating site like that, because at the time, gosh, I was 29, just about to turn 30. So I was getting a lot of matches, and like my first day, I'd made this rule that I was going to reply to everybody, and I think I had 120 emails on the first day, and it was just like, okay, that's going to be a full-time job. That's not going to be possible. So, it was very kind of like, so I went on a couple of other dates, and I've got some other dating disaster stories from that as well. But anyway, so about 6 months later, Dominic pops back up. He's on My Single Friend again, and he's matched with me. And because apparently I hadn't taken him off or something, he immediately could start emailing me again. So he messages me. I'm like, he's like, hi, you're still here. I was like, and so are you? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. He's like, oh, I've sorted things out with my girlfriend. That was the wording he used. I've sorted things out with my girlfriend. And I didn't know if that meant that he was no longer with his girlfriend, or she's agreed to an open relationship, or what. And I was just like, well done, block. Honestly, it was just like, what? So yeah, he also popped up again on a different dating site 5 years later, messaged me again. He was just like, hi, block. I'm like, nope. Yeah, Dominic, God bless him, but that was funny. That was funny. Michelle says, my exes and yours sound like brothers. So there's some gems out there. Those that are winners I found today. You right now, you're not alone. My husband is 8 years younger than me, and polar opposites from past partners. Yeah, I have lowered my dating age by 10 years. Because, like, honestly, everybody that's my age is terrifying. Lottie says, I really don't understand lying about your height. It's pretty obvious pretty quickly if you actually meet the person. Oh yeah, I did say that was the last story and I'm done, but I did. This is the back in the day London dating. I met up with this guy who said he was 6'2", and I wear high heels. I mean, I don't do it very frequently now because the Isle of Wight is all hills, but I do wear high heels. And he'd said he was 6'2", and me and my heels, I'm my biggest heels, I'm 6'2" as well, but I don't wear those very often, and I didn't for this first date. But I was 6 foot in the shoes that I turned up in. And he came to here. He was up to my chin. So I said, I'm really sorry, this isn't going to work out, and walked away. This was in the middle of a pub. He jumps off his bar stool to be this tall and starts screaming at me at the top of his lungs, you shallow, expletive, like at the top of his lungs, like, you shallow bitch, how dare you? This was just like, you lied! The first thing you did was lie. Like, to be fair, I would not have agreed to go on a date with him if I'd have known his height, because I've dated people my height and shorter. I've done it, and it did not go well. So, and I everyone's allowed to be attracted to what they're attracted to, as long as it's legal, obviously. But yeah, like, you can't help what you're attracted to. And I do like to have somebody that's taller than me. I mean, Wilson was only 5'11". So when I was wearing my heels, we were the same height. But he was 3 inches taller than me otherwise. But yeah, this guy screamed at me as I was leaving the pub. And I was just like, no. I mean, the screaming as well, but also you lied right from the get-go. What's the point? So, no. Julie says, and you know what? He did live where I went, and we did drink the coffee, and we never stopped. Oh, Julie, that's so lovely. That's so lovely. She had a friend the other day message me. I haven't heard from him for a while. And he's like, how are you? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm good. He's like, are you single again? I was like, yes, I am. It's, we broke up this. And he's like, I'm so sorry. He was like, what happened to this guy? And I told him his name. And he was like, you don't hear many of those. And I was like, no, especially for a Chinese guy. And he was like, you dated a Chinese guy and you didn't, because he's Chinese as well. He's like, he better have been tall, because Yok is not tall. I was like, yes, he was. And he's like, it's not fair. Why don't you love me? And I'm like, come on. I mean, to be fair, majority of the time that I've known this guy as well, he's had a girlfriend, but still, it was like, dude, stop it. Don't make things weird. That's the one that used to send me all the expensive presents. You right there? Mum's confused. Why are you confused?
Well, I don't know how I can add it there.
Okay. Right, so you don't
Because
need,
I've already
you don't
put
need
that.
this for the moment. What you need is your collar and your facing pieces. Okay. So what you want to do is match up the collar. I'm guessing that's how you sew it together.
Oh, I see.
And then you do the collar on the other side, and there'll be a gap where the lining was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you sew it together. Okay. It's warm in here. It turns down. So no good markings on it. I think that's the right. Is that? This is the facing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. You have to look. Okay, you're confusing me now. Right, look.
Oh, you.
Helps. Is that the upper collar?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. Oh, you've only written right. So front facing. So these two need to get sewn together at the back neckline to start with.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll pin the rest of this on.
It's amazing.
Okay. Nani says, I've met some lovely guys volunteering at my local animal sanctuary. It helps knowing we both have something in common and both love animals. This is true because my cat ended up being a nightmare for the last one. And they do want kitten cuddlers at the RSPCA, so maybe I should volunteer for that again.
Yeah.
Carolyn says, worst date was a blind date. He was coming by my place to pick me up. He picked me up in a go-kart. He thought because they are so expensive it would impress me. By the way, I'm not impressed by wealth. I had a date once with a guy. He just bought a new Lamborghini Murcielago in bright yellow. That yellow. And it was the gull wing doors. I'm not sure if all Lamborghinis have gull wing doors. So actually, yeah, his ex-wife was the original Timotei model as well. You know, the hair girl with the so anyway, he turned up in this car, and I had a short skirt on, a short tight skirt. Not something that I wear ever at the moment, but yeah, I had a short tight skirt on and looked at the car and I was like, you need me to get into that? And it was just an headache-inducing noise behind you the entire time you're driving around in this. But he was very pleased with his new baby. So, yeah. I once dated someone that wrote for Top Gear magazine. He got given basically a different car every couple of weeks, and one of them was a Caterham Expo, which you have to wear goggles and a helmet for because it's a completely open-air car. And he turned up in that and was like, no. Just no. Nonny says you should write a book. Probably should, to be honest. I mean, these are hilarious. But I mean, you have to laugh. You have to laugh because otherwise it's kind of depressing. Good Gracer says, my weirdest date was with a guy who'd been flirting with me for ages. Went out, walking date, going well until we ended up randomly crashing into a wedding in a church, and he decided to sit down rather than leave. It was super awkward when he tried to kiss me as the bride and groom were pronounced husband and wife. Oh yeah. No. Gin and Pin says, my funniest was a double date with a friend. We both ended up escaping from the ladies' toilet in the pub. I had to have a friend text me. This was one of my dating rules. Once I'd been on a few dates, you had to have your friend text you if you needed a get out of jail free card half an hour into the date. So Mum had just, do you remember buying Victoria that Venus flytrap plant?
Yes.
Yeah, but Victoria's tiny. She's like just 5'1", so she was really, really small. And she really wanted a Venus flytrap plant. So Mum and I had been out in London to one of the nurseries or something and found one, bought her one on the way home. And so I really actually needed this get out of jail free card on this date because this guy had basically, it was his first ever online date, and he had gotten himself very, very drunk with his friends in the bar beforehand. And it was awful. It was totally awful. So Victoria was late texting me. She did it an hour in. And by this point, I was ready to just get up and leave anyway. But she texted me. Her message was, Shan, help. I have been eaten by the Venus flytrap. Which is hilarious. And if the date had been going really well, it's another conversation starter. It's like, yep, look, you know, like mentally aware enough to be like safe and have like, you know, backup systems in place so if this goes horribly wrong. But actually, I think you're kind of a nice guy. So look at this hilarious text that my friend has sent me. No. This time I needed to use it. And because it's hilarious, I'm trying to keep, I mean, to be fair, he was so drunk he probably wouldn't have noticed. But there's a lot more to that story, but this is the, yeah. I had to excuse myself. I was like, I'm so sorry. My friend's locked herself out of the apartment. I need to go and let her in. I'm really sorry. Oh dear. So yeah. Cecilia says, his screaming proved you right. Someone who doesn't respect your preferences definitely wouldn't respect your boundaries. Yeah, totally. Short guy had issues. Elena says, height is important. I'm 5'3" and did end up in the same situation as you. Oh, wow. So he was that short. Linnea says, my husband is 194 meters, so understand you. We do have trouble when we're buying a new car, though. 194 is tall, isn't it? This only goes up to 150, doesn't it? Honest. Oh yeah, 194 is tall. Oh yeah, can I have one of those? Look, Mum.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Ooh,
I'll knit one.
Do you know there's actually a lady who did knit herself a boyfriend? I think she crocheted him. Gig Racer says, can relate, really lying about height. I'm 5'10" in heels, 6'1" or taller. Husband is 5'9", but was truthful about it. I prefer if it was 3 inches taller, but his personality more than makes up for it. Yeah. I mean, like I say, I have dated guys my height and slightly shorter as well. And to be honest, it was a nightmare both times. They had massive, I mean, to the point where, like, one of them, I wore heels and he knew that I loved heels. I wore heels and he made me walk on the street while he walked on the pavement so that he wouldn't look so short next to me. And got really pissy with me when I wore heels. What are you doing now?
God only knows.
Okay, come here. No. Right. For me, let me just turn these guys around so they can see what we're going on as well. Okay, so for me, when I'm trying to work out pinning things that are difficult, I like to look at it like this finished garment. So we've got, this is the right side, yeah?
No, that's the wrong side.
Okay.
Yeah. And this one I've written on both sides. So cross one side out because I'd already done it.
Are you enjoying making a point with me?
Not this bit. Yesterday I got on with it and did it. But today I'm a nightmare.
Okay.
So that's the wrong side.
This is the wrong side. So this is the right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's crossed out.
Okay.
So that's the wrong side, yeah?
Yes, this is
that's
the right side.
Yeah.
So this is the right side. Okay. So you want to
In there.
pin there.
Yeah.
And then, but you see what I'm, rather than holding it up in the air and trying to do it, if I do it like this, then I can kind of envision what's going on. So there's notches, and you've got notches in both of them. So if you match the notches up and then pin up and down from the notches, and then obviously you'll just have to stop because it's not sewn to its lining yet. But there you go. Okay.
Thank you.
No worries.
Where's the pin?
Natalie says, good morning all. I literally forgot today was Sunday. Lol. Nothing wrong with that. Carol says, the guys who lie about their height think that they won't get replies unless they do and expect it won't matter once you meet them. I had dates with men who lied and are shorter than me, and I'm 5'2". Wow. Wow. Catherine says, what happened to Timotei? Yeah, he was just like, look at all the money I've got. That was in his entire personality. And I mean, to the point where he told me that his still wife, they separated many years ago, but he's like, oh, it's much cheaper keeping her as my wife than it is divorcing her. So
been there, done that.
I was just like, nah.
They're strange, aren't they?
Are the collars exactly the same? Because you cut one.
No, it says cut the left one. So I put the cutting lines
on both.
on
Okay,
both,
yeah. Sensible.
That's what I thought.
Sew it on, because I think you might have put the collar on the wrong way around from the picture, because it's going the opposite way to the picture. It's fine as long as it crosses over the same way as this one does.
Right.
That's fine.
That's what
I think I'm telling you to do this right. I'm now second guessing myself as well.
It's bizarre when you're not following the actual instructions.
When you're not doing the lining, yeah.
It's a bit bizarre. I wasn't going to do this bit. I was just going to do the sleeves and leave it.
Yeah, so you should have the right side to the right side, which we've got there. That's fine. Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all good.
So we'll decide which side I cut when I've sewn it. Yeah.
Nicola says, I met my other half when I was 16. He refused to serve me in a bar. Fast forward years, we met again and became very good friends. Together 25 years this year, married 20. Look for a friend with benefits. Hannah says, got to jet. It's been great hanging out with you, Shan and Peeps. Looking forward to the videos this week. Awesome. Anna says, book will also match term of the year projects that scare me. Yes, that's true. Sue's laughing. Gig Racer says, I had my best friend call to rescue me from a crazy man date. We had an emergency at home and I hopped out of there, avoided him like the plague afterwards. Yeah. Carol says, I went to a dinner party with a boyfriend who had a very bad back. I was wearing a short tight skirt and real stockings and a garter belt. The dinner was at a Japanese height table. Awkward. Ooh, very awkward. Yes. Linnea says, you're welcome to Wising Sweden. You're welcome to Sweden. We're all tall here.
Yeah, apparently the Swedes and the Norwegians are a very tall race. I didn't realise this.
So maybe I should go there.
Wow.
Lottie says, just choked laughing at your mum knitting a boyfriend. Yeah.
It could be done.
Oh God, no, Mum, let's not do that.
You wouldn't get any response though. You couldn't complain. I could do into your requirement.
Mum, do you know how much knitting that would be? It's like 6'6", please.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I dated someone who was 6'10" once. That was fun. That was fun. He's married with a kid now.
Shame you can't marry cousins because they're really, really tall.
Yes, but
No, I know, but you can't.
You've seen the Habsburgs, right?
Yeah, no. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying they were very tall.
Yes.
Well, they are very tall.
Big Racer says, please make sure your mum shows us the progress of your knitted pictures of your knitted boyfriend. Do not encourage her. No. Natalie says, my ex-husband is 6'3". You can have him, lol. Mine too. Julie says, QQ for the knitting boyfriend comment. She says, Sian, you need to meet a basketball player. Oh, Natalie. No. Oh, no, Natalie. Don't drop off unworthy guys on Sian. Yeah. Yeah, no, I dated someone who was 6'10". That was fun, but I was working at Playboy at the time, so I was on shift work, and he was a professional athlete. So he had very strict times that he was and wasn't allowed to go out. So nothing really came of it. Although he did message me for years afterwards.
Oh,
just
really?
Yeah, every now and again, just being like, "Can you alter my jeans for me?" Because he knew I sewed. He's like, "Could you alter them jeans for me?" Oh, he was very pretty. He was very pretty. Yes.
Pretty's perhaps not necessarily a good thing.
Mum, I have dated ugly guys too, and you hated them as well. I have. You cannot say that I just go for a pretty face. I tried going out with a couple of people that made me laugh. One of them was awful. One of them was abusive. Oh no! He's got to at least be attractive now. See, this is the problem. This is what Charlotte says from Sex and the City. The older I get, the more I keep self-selecting down to a smaller and smaller group of people. Oh dear. Ellen says, actually, boyfriend knitting vlog waffle would be interesting to watch. Monica says, good morning, Sian. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, everyone. What coat pattern is your mum making? The 9040, the Vogue one that we're both making. But thankfully, Mum actually needs the same size as me, so Mum's getting to make the muslin for both of us. You're loving the process, aren't you?
Well, I was yesterday.
Make a coat with me, she said. It'll be fun, she said. Yeah, so
Now,
right sides together.
Right sides
together. It'll look weird. And you have to sew to that point and stop, and then move this out of way and sew down from there. Is this the one that you cut? It looks like it is. I think that's the one that you cut, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna sew all the way, and you're gonna sew up to your stitching line there, back stitch, and then you're gonna move everything out of the way and then sew down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's now it's in the right position for you to pin it together. Yeah. And you can cut this bit off now that you know which side it's to be cut off. Flower says, I use kids Crayola washable markers when making pattern markings on fabric. It cost $3 Australian from Kmart, and the $7 fabric marker from Spotlight did not work, so it took back and got a $7 refunded to me. The Crayola washable markers have not let me down. Good tip. Yeah, I really like the chalk pens that we've got. The really thin, fine ones that Rachel introduced us to. and the chalk runners. I do like those. Johanna says, I'm a big fan of the Crayola markers, have yet to have a fabric they did not wash out of. Nice. Natalie says, I also use the Crayola markers. Nice. Julie says, you need to come to Denmark. The Danish guys are tall, blonde and trimmed. Monica says, my husband is my high school sweetheart. We've been together 32 years and I'm 47. Never dated anyone, but would never trade that because he is the love of my life. Aww. Oh God, I was such an ugly duckling at school. I didn't really have a boyfriend until I was sort of 16, 17.
You weren't a duckling.
Oh, mother, I was. I have photos.
Rubbish.
Oh, I have photos. Oh no. Jojo says, I'm pissing myself laughing at that. Can you alter my jeans for me?
Yeah. One way to lose someone immediately.
It literally killed me though. I think it was just such a weird, like, I haven't spoken to this guy in years, and then he pops up with the, hi, how are you? It's like, very well, thank you, how are you? And yeah, still tall. Can you alter my jeans for me? No.
What is it?
Jen and Pin says, my two tallest boyfriends were 6'5" and 6'7". I'm 5'1", and I've never dated anyone under 6 foot. Can't remember how tall Nigel looked. See, I do have a thing, like, and this is meant as a complete joke, and I'm not serious at all. But I do think there should be a height range that you're allowed to date with.
Yeah,
because all these teeny tiny 5'2" nothing girls keep dating all the really tall ones.
Is that my husband?
Yeah, Dad's 6'1", Mum's 5'4".
Yeah.
She's gonna say 1.5, but not anymore.
Maybe not.
No. Oh, dear.
Shrinking.
Michelle says, okay, gotta run, lovely. Shan, I think the book idea is a great idea. Make some financial profit from all the duds.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Why
should.
not?
Maybe I should. I've got most of them written down already. There's a few more to add to it, but yeah, I mean, honestly. Oh dear. Jojo's Julie's in hashtag oh mother. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Jojo says, I've seen those photos. No, you were not. I was not an attractive child.
She was lovely.
I was not an attractive child. Mum, let me have this. This is why I was single for the entirety of everybody else I went to school with was dating somebody in school, and I did not have a school boyfriend. And let me have the fact that I was an ugly duckling, not because it was me. I have to say though, like after I left high school, and I left high school at 16 and got a apprenticeship and went and worked in a shop. And then I started modelling a couple of years later, and then suddenly out of the woodwork came all these guys that I went to school with who were suddenly very interested in me. And it was just like, nope. So yeah. Marie says, hi everyone, just quickly popped in to say hello and like the stream. We'll catch up later in the week. Marie, there is zero sewing talk and no Project Lifting going on. It's been all dating disasters, just so you're aware. Oh dear. Jennifer says, my excuse is my eyesight is really bad, so I just used to go for the one head and shoulders above the rest. Yeah. Janice says, my mum was 5 foot with shoes on and my dad was 6'1". Carolyn says, school boyfriends are overrated. Yes, this is true, but then so many of you are also saying you met your sweetheart in school, so no, I mean, to be fair, like, there was one guy that I loved throughout my entire middle school career, because I was there for 3.5 years and should have been 4, but we moved house in the end, and he didn't want anything to do with me the entire time. I've tried looking him up on Facebook actually because I want to see how he's aged, because I don't think he's going to have aged very well, but he's not on Facebook, which is really frustrating. Yeah, oh, I had such a crush on him. He had very dark hair and very blue eyes. Matthew Bird was his name. Oh yeah. Cecilia says, I'm 5'9" and identify as a 5'1" pixie. Yeah. Yeah, apparently what's the joke? Apparently I identify as a family of 5. Because I'm a microwave meal, it's sort of something like ready in 5 minutes and just good enough to oh dear. Jojo says, yeah, my mama is 5'2" and my dad is 6'2". You may have a point there. I'm just saying, for all the ladies that are under 5'4", cap it at 6 foot and let us have the 6 foot and plus ones, because that's how it works, right? Natalie says, I had terrible acne from 11 to 19, didn't even have a proper boyfriend in school either. Christine says, bonjour, Shan and the Peeps. Met my husband 39 years ago through a friend at work. 6'3", hated his guts. First, he didn't want to speak French and looked like a snob. We went out a few times. 3 months later, we had our first kiss, and going on for 39 years of marriage. Oh, that's lovely. Lottie says, yep, I'm 6 foot, and anyone tall was always dating someone much shorter. Yep. Cecilia says, we're trading the ability to reach things on the top shelf for the cuteness of being short. Lol. I said to Mum the other day, it's like, why can't I be short? She's like, you don't want to be short. And I was like, no, but it would make dating so much easier. Elena says, you're right. My husband is also about the 190 tall, and that height difference is with all my family. Just skipped my mum, but she is the tallest of us, and my stepdad is shorter than mum by 2 inches. Tia says, I'm only 4'7", so always avoid looking like a comedy duo with either a fellow shorty or a 6-footer. Married twice, and John is an ideal 5'7". Yeah. Yeah. See, that's still much taller than you, because I'm 5'8", so yeah. Yeah, Mum's the only short one in the family, aren't you?
Literally.
Yeah, every single
All
one.
my cousins.
Yeah.
5'6",
Yeah.
6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. How tall was your mum as well? Granny was tall.
Oh, she was 5'8" or 10.
I think she was a little taller than me. Yeah. And Granddad was 6 foot, wasn't he?
No, he was 5'11".
Okay.
He was the only sort of shorter part of
Teeny tiny Australian.
well, 5'11".
Yeah, it's not teeny tiny at all. No. But yeah, Mum is the dinky one in the family. I do have a photo of Mum, Dad, James and I all together. I don't know where it is. I don't think it's down here. No, I can't see a photo album. But I don't even have heels on. I've got those boots that you borrowed from me and took to Iraq. You know, my caterpillar boots.
Yeah.
So they had a little bit of a heel on them as well. But it's like all of us, and then Mum's just like, hello,
I'm here.
hello.
Don't leave me out of
Tia says, side note, have to alter sewing pattern loads. Lol, I can imagine, yeah. Carolyn says, 5'4" here. All of my siblings are 6 foot or taller. Meow. Guys, we've been waffling for 2 hours about my love life. Sorry. I hope it was amusing. At one point, there was nearly 200 people here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you shared it with the
Well,
world.
I already have. I've already told all these stories on my blog.
Oh,
So, you know. I mean, I think that was the point of Brie asking, is if I've given my new potential dates my YouTube, and it's like, no. Because, no. But, yeah. 2 hours of boyfriend waffle. Yes, do please like, everybody. There's 167 of us at the moment, 74 likes. Please do like. Linnea says, with my husband being so tall and his family, I'm going to be the short one at 168. My babies have been huge. First 55 centimetres and second 52. So they look like their 2-month baby when they came out. Ouch! You poor thing. Caroline says, it's kept you laughing. This is true. Cecilia says, love the new hair, by the way. Thank you. Janice says bye now. Peter says, many apologies. My husband is 6'1" and I'm 5'6", but my sister is 5'1" and her husband is 6'6".
Yeah.
We've both snaffled tall guys.
Oh. Right. That's where they go.
Yeah. And then Eleanor says, all the ladies in my mum's and dad's families are 5'2" and 5'5", and my mum is like 6 footish, so she is an anomaly. Words are hard. Anomaly. Yes. No, I mean, like you guys have said, this is hopefully been funny and entertaining, and you kind of have to laugh about this stuff because otherwise it would just be sad. And it is funny. Honestly, I do have a sense of humor about it all, and I'm, like, it is what it is, and I enjoy chatting about it and sharing it with you guys because hopefully it makes you laugh as well. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Here's how not to date. Don't do anything I've done. Oh dear. Elena said, I've read that one. Eva says, find the right side of the fabric, check with the selvages as it goes on the frame for processing. If I'm correct, the ridge of holes along the selvage should be facing up for the right side. That kind of makes sense, but good tip, Eva, thank you. Carolyn says, it's always fun, no matter the topic. Linnea says, no problem with birth, just heavy to carry. Yeah. Carolyn says, I'm 5'4", my sister's 5'9", and my brother and 5'10", brother is 6'5". That is a very tall family. Natalie says, my current partner is my height, 5'9". At least I don't get a crick in my neck kissing him. There is that. Oh, I've got a new match on Tinder. And he's messaged me. Your life looks very interesting. Very happy to meet you. Believe you are warm and interesting. I'm not thinking English isn't his first language. Mind you, his name is also Ivan. Been there, done that. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now because, yeah, I'm going to have a coat to try on in a minute.
Yeah. I'm just going to press it for you, dear.
Don't forget to notch the edges. Yeah, we're going to try and sort out this coat and do some coat fitting now. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's waffle. I know it wasn't quite as advertised. I honestly have not taken very many photos this week at all because I haven't really done very much. So I'm going to put together a bit of a mood board to start out my project life, and we will be doing it next Sunday. So yes, there is going to be back to outfits of the day shorts from tomorrow. There is going to be a Make 9 charm patterns video coming out either on the Friday or the Saturday, and I've also got the 5 hits and 5 misses of 2022 that I'm very nearly finished editing, and the Halston skirt video as well. I would like to get that out ASAP for you guys too. And also for the Patreon peeps, there's going to be 2 Patreon exclusive waffles going up this week as well. So thank you very much for joining me and listening to me waffle about my love life. I wonder if I leave this one up or not. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for joining. Bye.